Hey you, yeah you who clicked on this video. Thanks for giving our channel a shot. And if you will, please do us the honor of watching the video all the way through. Appreciate it. Now onto the video.
One of the words we need to retire this year is representation. Although this term can apply to many different immutable characteristics, today we're going to be talking about Black representation in particular. Now, before you hit the thumbs down button and unsub like you've been conditioned to do whenever you hear something that vaguely disagrees with your ideas and opinions, hear me out. I think representation is important, not just to the group that is being represented, but to the other groups to see outside of themselves. With that being said, what I've seen in the last decade and even beyond that is corporations that have turned representation into a weapon to divide and manipulate people into buying lazy, quasi-racist stereotype caricatures and hand-me-down blackface palette swap versions of pre-existing characters. Does the blame solely fall on the shoulders of the soulless corpos whose only job it is to make profits? Well, although they have set the table and put this slop in front of audiences, we as the consumers have the option to eat elsewhere. However, after over a decade of this bankrupt material, it's clear that Black audiences enjoy it enough to keep supporting these modern-day blackface minstrel shows. So the question becomes, is there Black representation in the media that isn't stereotyped caricatures or tokenized blackface palette swaps of existing characters? Well, in the first video in this series, we'll be giving examples of the corporate media using previously mentioned lazy tactics of blackface tokenism and stereotypes, and the alternative that display more creative and genuine representation, in particular in the art form known as anime. Now, before we go any further, if I mention a property or character that you personally enjoy, I'm not making commentary about you. I'm simply stating that what I observe based on the character's traits and behaviors. So, starting with one of the more popular emerging forms of media that has gained mainstream popularity in the last decade, anime, which are animated adaptation of Japanese comics known as manga. The outcry by many Black anime fans for representation in this nearly exclusive Asian art form is something I've always found confusing, since East Asian cultures rarely seem to show much interest in Black people, despite appropriating many forms of Black culture. That being said, I'm a huge anime fan. I've been watching anime since I was a kid, and one of the first characters that caught my eye was Claudia from Robotech, which I go into detail about in a previous video about Black-coded characters in anime. However, for every Claudia, there is a Killer Bee, a ninja who raps everything he says from Naruto, a Sister Crone, who is shown to be a larger, burly sister with overly exaggerated features and large physicality, and also slightly dim-witted from Promised Neverland, or a Mr. Popo and the other Black characters shown in DBZ who are all shown to have enlarged pink lips and usually speak in some sort of slang dialect. And before you even start, Piccolo is not Black, which I also cover in my video about Black-coded characters in anime. These characters show how many people in that part of the world view Blacks. I've enjoyed all of the series that these characters are featured in, but I could do without those characters and that form of representation. So when the anime adaptation of Cannon Busters by LaShawn Thomas was announced, I was sure that my fellow Black anime fans would be there to back it when it premiered on Netflix. After all, it was an anime by a Black manga writer featuring an all-Black main cast of characters, and after so much outcry for positive Black representation in anime, you would think that they would show up, right? Surely, after the success of Black Panther on film and Luke Cage on Netflix, we would rally around this new title. Wrong. A story about a fallen kingdom, the redemption of an immortal Black outlaw, and what it truly means to be a friend, with all the action you could ask for, and most of you couldn't even be bothered to watch the first episode of the adventures of Philly the Kid and his friends. The anime only got one season due to a lack of support. So, next time you feel the need to cry about Black representation in anime, do us all a favor. Save it. Because when it came up, you skipped it. If you've never heard of Cannon Busters, check it out on Netflix and show some support to genuine representation. The next video in this series will cover video games, and we'll also cover more characters in depth in subsequent videos. That being said, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace.
If you'd like to get a shout out on the channel, then hit that like button, maybe share it with a couple of friends, and do us the biggest honor of all, and subscribe to the channel so you can join the 8-Bit Heroes family. And while you're at it, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when our new videos come out.